Hello again and welcome back to my channel. I have discovered a new favorite YouTuber. Her name is Jeri-Ann Henson, and I'm going to be doing my video in her style. Jeri-Ann is just as sweet as Emmy Made in Japan, and she also does crafts, so that's really a cool thing. Jeri-Ann likes to do a lot of farmhouse home decor type crafts, and she does a lot of Dollar Tree dupes, basically taking expensive home decor items and redoing them with Dollar Tree materials for much cheaper. And so her channel has really inspired me, and I actually found something that I wanted to duplicate. It was this piece that I saw at Hy-Vee in their home decor section. As you can see, it has this kind of nice wooden distressed window thing and some glass art with it. It's about 4x6. And you know how much that cost? It cost $4.99. No, it cost $8.99. Because I cannot think on camera. It cost $8.99, and I decided that I could probably reproduce something close to it with Dollar Tree materials. So I'm going to show you what I made. There's this one here. This is my first one. It was kind of my test item. And I think it turned out pretty cool. And then I did this one. This is the one that I'm going to be showing you on camera, demonstrating for you on camera. But I'm also going to be demoing a lot of some other ways to get the art onto the glass. These two were done with tracing, but I also figured out that there's several other different ways that you can get the art onto the glass, so I'm going to be demonstrating those as well. So let's get started. Here's what you'll need for this project. You'll need a 5x7-inch picture frame from the Dollar Tree. You'll need a 5x7-inch stretched canvas from the Dollar Tree, and you'll need some permanent markers. Now, when I first made these, I made the mistake of getting 4x6-inch picture frames, and that meant that the glass that I had was too small to fit over the 5x7 wooden frame that I got from the canvas. So I ended up having to use popsicle sticks to make it a little bit bigger so it would fit on the frame. So that's what you see there as the popsicle sticks. But if you don't make that mistake and get a 5x7 frame rather than a 4x6-inch frame, you won't need the popsicle sticks. You'll also need some Waverly chalk paint in the colors mineral and white, which you can get at Walmart, and you'll need some folk art crackle medium. I got mine at Michael's using a 50% off coupon. Here are the tools that you'll need. You'll need a very, very small flathead screwdriver. I use one that's from the little mini screwdriver set, which you can get at the Dollar Tree. You'll need a small pair of needle nose pliers. Mine are wire cutters, but you can get needle nose pliers at the Dollar Tree. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need a flat paintbrush. You'll need some images that are sized to go in a 5x7-inch frame, which you can print off the internet, or you can draw, or you can get anywhere you want. And you'll need some Scotch tape. Okay, the first thing that you do is you unwrap your picture frame, then you take it apart, and what you want to do is you want to find the little metal things that are on the back of the picture frame that are for hanging it on the wall. And you just want to pull those out. You'll be using those later, so set them aside. You may want to also, if there's still cardboard on them, sticking on them, you want to get rid of that. Then you want to take your stretched canvas, and you're going to remove all those staples. Now this is really the hardest part of the whole process. But I found that a good method to use is to take a small screwdriver and poke it underneath the staple, and then twist it. Then you can use your pliers to pull the rest of the staple out. I'm going to spare you seeing the process of pulling them all out, but that's what you eventually want to do, because you're going to eventually remove the entire canvas from the wooden frame. Once you have all those staples taken out, then you simply remove the canvas from the frame. If you notice that there's some rough spots on the frame, then you can sand those down. I had some on some of the frames and not on the others. This one didn't require any sanding. Now you're going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the color Mineral, and you're going to give the frame a coat of that paint. You're going to paint the front of the frame, you're going to paint the sides on the outside and the sides on the inside. You don't have to worry about the back, because that's the back. You're not going to see it. Okay, now you're going to put your image onto the glass. This is the easiest, I think, method, and the one that I like the best, though I'm going to show you some more at the end of this video. You start by putting the image face down on the glass, center it nicely, and attach it with some pieces of Scotch tape. And then you're just going to take permanent markers, and you're going to trace the image. Now, if you're planning on using this method, you want to pick an image that has fairly simple shapes to it and is not too detailed, so that it wouldn't be too difficult to trace. You'll notice on here that I added some greenery at the top and the bottom. I thought that just made the image a little bit more complete. You could add whatever you want to your image if you feel like it, though you don't have to if you don't want to. Once the chalk paint is completely dry on your frame, then you're just going to give just the front a coat of the crackle medium. While the crackle medium was drying, I took my image and I removed the image from the glass and then put it on just a white piece of paper so you could see it. And then I did some touching up on here. I felt that some of it needed to be a little bit darker. Then I flipped it over and I painted my milk bottles with the Waverly white chalk paint so that they would look white. That's entirely an optional step. Once your crackle medium is completely dry, then you're going to give the entire frame a coat of the white Waverly chalk paint. This time you're going to include the edges, though again you don't need to include the back. You won't see the crackles right away, but as it dries, the crackles will magically appear. After the chalk paint dried on the image, I noticed that I had gone over the lines a little bit, so I was able to take my little screwdriver and scrape off that excess. Then I just did a little bit more touching up before getting to the final glue step. Now you want to take your canvas and cut it into a nice rectangle that will fit exactly over the frame. This is easy because you can just cut right along the folds that they have there. Okay, now it's time to do some hot gluing. I'm going to show you what I did to make up for the fact that this glass was a little bit too small for the frame. I basically took popsicle sticks and put a line of hot glue along each one, and then put each one along the edges of the glass. And that made the glass a little bit bigger. Again, you don't have to do this because you're going to buy a 5x7 inch frame rather than a 4x6 inch frame like I did. So now all you have to do is just put a line of hot glue all the way around the frame, and then you're going to flip the glass over face down and glue it right down. Then you're going to put a dot of hot glue in each corner, and you're going to glue your canvas down. You glue it down so that the unfinished side shows through the glass. Then you're going to just glue down the little metal pieces that you saved from the back of the frame. Glue one in the top left corner and one in the bottom left corner. The last step is to add a little bit of white over the top of your little metal fittings. I did this with a white paint marker from the Dollar Tree, but that's optional. You could also just use a little tiny brush and a little bit more of the white Waverly chalk paint for this, okay? And here are the finished frames. I really like how they turned out. I'll let you enjoy them for a second, and then I'm going to show you 4 other ways that you can use to put the art onto the glass. This first method was supposed to be the easiest method. I said supposed to be, but it didn't turn out that way. Basically, it's just you're just going to put some stickers and maybe even some rub-ons onto your glass. When I did this, I used these Dollar Tree rub-ons that I got from the new craft section. I was very excited to use them. But you'll remember from when I did my other video, my fall signs video, that I used rub-ons there, and those were from Target, and those took a lot of rubbing to make them release. What I didn't realize is that the Dollar Tree ones are extremely sensitive, and they just come right off. So as you can see here, I did some rubbing, and then I pulled it off, and I ended up pulling off a whole bunch of the other greenery items from the sheet rather than just the little wreath that I wanted to pull off. So then I had to figure out a way to get what I didn't want off the glass. As you can see here, I tried using my little screwdriver, and then I tried to use a leftover gift card, and that didn't work very well. But then I found a good way to do it, which is to use some nail polish remover onto a tissue. I'm going to spare you having to see me do that because it took me quite a long time to get all the excess greenery off. Once I got all the excess greenery off, then I took a pumpkin sticker that I got from the Target Bullseye's Playground. I put that in the center. Then I wanted to add some gold words that I had from another set of rub-ons that I got at the Dollar Tree. And I ended up making another huge mistake. I thought I was going to be smart, and I was going to cut the words out of the sheet and just transfer the cutout portion, but I wasn't really paying attention when I was cutting, and the sheet ended up draping over and hitting the glass. And so as you can see here, when I pulled it back up off, it transferred a whole bunch more letters that I didn't want on there. So then I had to take my tissue and nail polish remover and do a lot more removing. I didn't attempt to remove the gold from the pumpkin and the wreath, since I actually kind of liked that. I managed to salvage the image by putting a grateful sticker from a set of Dollar Tree wall stickers over the top. Considering all the trouble I had with this, I think it actually turned out pretty good. The next method I'm going to show you is a packing tape transfer. Now for this, you need to have your image printed by a laser printer. I didn't have a laser printer, but I was able to do this easily by taking my image to Office Max, to the copy area, and I asked them to make a copy for it. See, all of their copy machines are laser printer based, so I ended up with a laser print of the image. So you have your laser printer image, and then what you do is you just simply cover it with strips of packing tape. You want to line them up really carefully next to each other. Then you're going to scrape it with an old credit card or gift card just to burnish everything down. Then you put it into a bowl of water. You want to let it sit in the bowl of water for at least 5 minutes, though more doesn't hurt. You want to have the paper totally absorb the water and get really soft. Once your paper is all nice and soft, then you're going to pick up your image and you're going to rub it between your fingers to get all the paper off the back. You'll notice that the pieces of tape came apart, but I was able to salvage this. You can just salvage that by very, very carefully aligning them when you put them back on the glass. Just keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. This takes a really, really long time. You'll notice how fast I had to speed up this footage. It took me several minutes to really get them all off. But once you do, you'll have a nice kind of semi-transparent image that you can then glue onto your glass. Once you manage to dry off your transferred image, Then all you do is you put some Mod Podge on the glass at about the size of the image, and you glue the image down, face down onto the glass. Since mine came apart, I had to be very careful about the alignment. You'll see white Mod Podge through the glass until it completely dries, and it will dry clear. This may take several days because air can't really get to the Mod Podge through the glass, but it will eventually dry clear. The next method I'm going to show you just simply involves getting your image printed on a transparency. You can buy inkjet transparency film, but it's kind of pricey. So a much cheaper way to do that is to just take your image to Office Max and have them copy it onto transparency film. I did this and was able to save myself some money. Then all you have to do is to glue it on with Mod Podge just like you did the packing tape transfer. Just brush some Mod Podge onto the glass and stick your image into it face down. The final method involves just finding something at Dollar Tree that's kind of transparent or semi-transparent and has a cute image on it. I was able to find these little treat bags. So all I had to do was cut off the top of the bag and then cut the bag open so that I just had the first side of the bag that had the little leaves on it. Then I just glued it on to the glass with Mod Podge, just the way that I did the other ones. Here you can see that I'm trying to see if I can find a sticker to go with it. I ended up not doing that, and I ended up opting to do some hand lettering. I just flipped the glass over, and then I hand lettered the word fall. I didn't really like the balance, so I added welcome to it, and I was thinking in terms of having it say welcome fall, but actually it more says fall welcome. But I don't really mind that. I still think it looks pretty good. If you don't like hand lettering or can't do hand lettering, you could use letter stickers to add a word or a phrase to your glass. So here are all the finished frames. I actually think they turned out really beautiful. They have a really wonderful rustic farmhouse look to them, and I can guarantee you they cost a whole lot less than $8.99. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. We will be heading into the outro, but first there's going to be one last Mexican tasting for you to watch. Hello and welcome to my final Mexican tasting. This time it's not candy that I'm tasting, but it's these. These are Japanese style peanuts, but they're Mexican. They're made by Manzala. So I'm not sure what Japanese style peanuts means, but I'm gonna find out. So I'll go ahead and use my scissors to cut these open. Let's see. Interesting. They appear to have a kind of a hard shell on them, but it's not really a sweet kind of candy shell. It is a little teeny bit sweet, but mostly it just tastes like peanuts with a shell on it. You can hear how crunchy that is. That's me biting through that shell. Other than that, they taste like peanuts. This is really curious. I'm wondering what's in the ingredients, if they're in English. Nutrition information is in English. Let's take a look here. Peanuts, wheat flour, sugar, soy sauce, brown sugar, yeast extract, gum arabic, caramel color, arbol chili pepper. Guayabo chili pepper, so there's chilies in it. They don't taste really hot. I guess I can taste a tiny little bit of spice in there. So that's really Mexican to put those chili peppers in it, but I don't really see those too Japanese, although it does have soy sauce in it, which is Japanese. So these are really curious. They're like nothing I've ever had. Japanese-style peanuts. So there you have it. Thank you for watching all of my Mexican candy tastings.